Well guys, in this video I'm gonna show you how to create power door opener for your car through your phone via Bluetooth device. This is a Bluetooth switch, LazyBone, and I'm gonna post the link on Amazon where to get it. And then you're gonna need for this project a socket 10 millimeters flat slow screwdriver to connect to attach your little screws here on that Bluetooth connector, and then a couple of the wires, 18 or 20 gauge, wherever you can have. Just make sure you have long enough for connection. So I already prepped a couple wires here and connected to the switch. So this is going to be a switch pair that goes to our power door button switch. Same connectors. We're going to find that and I'll show you where they are. And we already put the jumper. So this jumper here is actually controls from this neutral over here to one of the switches. So the option here is either control the switch or disconnect or connect one of the wires. So this jumper, I pre-installed that. It doesn't come like this, so I easily can connect just two wires over here. The other option would be is connect one wire on this end to the LR, and the other connector will be either one of these, so one on the middle. That's what we need here. That's why I have the jumper between middle and neutral connector, which are these two are connected together. Okay, so let's go to the car and I'll show you the rest of the process. You're gonna have some multimeter quick splice connectors, couple of those I grabbed, and a multimeter to find where your power and your connectors to the where you're gonna connect your wires to for this connector. Okay, so this is the relay switch. All it does for right now, the way it's connected. So as we're gonna press Bluetooth, all it's gonna do connect these two wires together. Okay, all it does, it just connects two wires together. So really simple device. And there is an option to do a quick momentary switch, which gonna just connect and release the wires in wherever setting we're gonna set, like 100 milliseconds, 500 milliseconds, or whatever option you can customize, which is very nice. So for right now, we're gonna bring power to this device so we can test it first. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna find, I already found the power here up on the and this is Tacoma, by the way, 2013 Toyota Tacoma. So Tacoma's kind of similar and Toyota's kind of similar. If your car is different, please check your fuses box. That's where you can get your power 12 volts from. Okay, so this device works from 5 or 12, between 5 and 12 volts is the supply power. So this device will work on your car power. So what we do, we connect the ground here right at the metal screw, so we have a really good ground connection. And I kind of prepared this wire for power, and the other end, what I did, I welded to the 15 amp fuse. So I found the fuse here up in the box. What I did with the multimeter, we just did DC volts. Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick how I did it. And you connect your negative terminal to any ground, and then we test all these, got to test all of this with your key off from your car. So you want to make sure it works when your key is out of the ignition. Okay, so you have constant power connected. All right, so you check all these fuses and there is no voltage showing off, right? And then I found this fuse up on the top, and here you go, you have 12 volts on the meter, and this is where a 15 amp fuse gonna be, and it's actually constant power even with the key turned off. So that's where we're gonna use. I'm gonna connect this pre-soldered, and by the way, this connector is after the fuse, so we want to make sure it's after the fuse. So if any shortage happen, the fuse gonna burn and we're not gonna damage the vehicle or any of the wiring in the vehicle. Okay, so here we go, we connected that fuse back, so it supplied the power to wherever it was, plus it's gonna supply power to our 12 volts to our connector over here. Okay, and this is the 2.1 5.5 millimeters connector, pretty standard easy to get on Amazon as well. I'm gonna show you. And by the way, I did this little quick disconnect over here with the TX30. I'm gonna post the links for all these connectors, really easy to get on Amazon, and they're pretty durable. And the reason I did that, so in case you're gonna park your car for longer than a month and not gonna use it, you don't want to suck your battery out, so you can quickly just disconnect this cable and just don't drain your battery out, okay? Because this device uses about 2 to 3 watts a day, so it's really low power consumption, and so it's really great, and it's probably gonna last for about 2 months on your car battery. But in any case, you don't want to suck your battery if you park your car for too long, okay? So just remember that. I drive my car every day almost, so I'm not gonna worry about that, but I'm still gonna have this quick connect, or you can put some switch, so you can just simply put the switch somewhere here on any of the available options and turn it on or off anytime you need it, in case you worry about safety or security, that somebody can hack it up and open your car, so you can disconnect that and then just use it as you need it. So again, this is just the project for on your own risk, but it's a nice feature just to be able to open your doors on your car with your phone, okay? So now as we connect it, so we're gonna turn the 12 volts and see the red LED came on. That means the power is on. Now this device is actively ready to control by the phone. So what you do, you get your phone and connect to the I already download this LazyBone BLE application. So as you go in the App Store, you download this app, and as you press, so anytime you download it, there is no connections to any devices. You just press on your power button and it will show you all the Bluetooth devices around. And here we go, I just have my Andre labeled. So the reason I don't want to put car or any name, so anybody who scanned the Bluetooth, they cannot see any cars or anything like that. You just put like simple name or something that it's not really showing that this is your car, just for security, I guess, reasons you want to do that. So now once you connect it, watch this, you can click, hear the sound, click in connecting and disconnecting. And the reason it does that, connect for a few seconds and disconnects, because in the connections options and in the mode, I already set it up to 500 milliseconds to do it momentary mode. So if I turn it off and go back, it will just turn like a switch on and off. We don't want to do that, because if you turn it on, it will always almost like press this open button on all the time. We don't want that. We want just turn it on and disconnect right away. So what we're gonna do is just use this mode, which is really cool feature here, and we set into 500 milliseconds. I think even smaller is enough, but I just feel like that's kind of what my push button does for like half a second press, okay? So what it does, really turn it on and off, okay? And I'm gonna show you here with the multimeter, okay, how it works. So basically, if I go and connect to multimeter test mode, so when I connect this two, you can hear the sound of the connection, okay, 0. And we're gonna connect to these two connectors over here to test it, okay, right there. And I'm gonna press on my phone button, so I have quick on and off connection. So my multimeter quickly barely make the sound, because it just gives me a few seconds, half a second basically connection, okay? So anyways, that shows that this relay is working, and it's all it does, just connects these two wires together and disconnect after half a second. That's all we need for this device here to do, okay? So now the other tricky part is to find our open door two wires. Which are two wires connects to this little push button? We don't need the lock, we just need only this. I mean, you can make it more complicated and connect lock option, unlock and lock, in case if you want to lock the doors, or you're sitting in the Starbucks, you want to lock your car. So you can connect to both of this and get either two devices, or they sell those multiple relay devices, the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi options. So that's really cool, but that's not what I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do here is just to create the open door opener basically for my car, in case I leave the key inside. Okay, so next thing that what I did, that's for Toyota Tacoma, and it's probably true for other Toyotas 2013 or around that age, because they build very similar options. But just make sure you check this wiring. What we're trying to find is which are two wires are basically connect to each other. When you press this button, you want to make sure to find which are two wires in our door wiring are connected while you're pressing this. So what I did, I went over the small connector here. There's two connectors here with the larger wires. That's a 10 wire connector, and the other is 8 wire connector, I believe, right over there. That's a smaller connector, and I tested between all these wires until I found this connector. That's what you can do. And this wire comes basically right here from the door, and you can trace this over your door. Anything from your door comes in this cable. That's the only wiring coming from the door, and that's from the push button. Okay, so and this comes up right here, and you can see it how the wire moves. So those are the wires coming out. There is no other wires coming from the door, so that's where you check in to find your wires if you have different vehicle. Okay, and then I'm gonna just show you quickly how I found it. So I tested with the ground. Basically all the wires in the newer cars connected basically from the ground. Anywhere on the ground you can connect to any metal. Very good connection. And from the ground you want to make sure this is really well connected. Okay, so you have this multimeter into the sound mode, so you know when you have solid connection, you have the sound. This is the way easier to find because you want to hear it. Okay, and maybe second person, just click on that push button and hold it, and you want to make sure all the power disconnected, just so you don't have any extra voltage coming anywhere in the wiring. Okay, or any radio or any other stuff connected. So right now we're just gonna test, and I'm gonna show you how I found those wires. So basically I went through this little control secondary 8 wire, 8 connectors, 8 wire connector, and went through each wire, and I found there are one wire that connected, and the second is the ground wire. So first you can find the ground wire without clicking any buttons. You go through each, and I found that the second one right here, this is my ground. Second one on the left, second row on the left, second from the bottom on the left row. Okay, that's my ground. And then I'm looking now for the other wire that is gonna actually connect to my open door push button. Okay, so I'm clicking that and I'm holding, and then it was actually number 3 wire from the bottom. It's a gray and black wire. Here you go. So see, I have total connection. If I release my open door button, I release this, I press, and this is where I have connection. So this is my door opener, 2 wires. So one is the actually blue and black. This is the ground wire, and then I have gray, this gray I believe, and black. Cannot see the other color. I believe it's a black strip. Cannot see now any strips where it was kinda. No, it's just a gray wire. Oh, gray and maybe some striping, white striping or something. Anyways, I don't see any strips. So that's just a gray wire. Okay, so that's just a gray and black and blue wire with the black strip. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use these connectors to connect. So first I'm gonna use this block. This is my ground. By the way, if you don't want to connect to any of this wire, you can simply connect to your anywhere to your ground, which I probably gonna do that because I don't want to damage any extra wires. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use one of these wires, strip it off. Okay. And by the way, this is my relay wire. Those are that gonna use like a switch. And I'm gonna connect to the ground, same ground wire that I used over here. So in this case, it will be just simple connection to this ground wire, and I don't have to worry about damaging extra wires. Now, by the way, guys, if you tested all the wires, make sure you have this connected to ground first. So this wire connects to ground in order to open. So that's important, because if it doesn't, then you cannot simply connect to the ground here. Okay. So here we go. We opening this up, and we connecting this ground. This is our goal. Just connect to this ground wire here together. By the way, the ground that we're using to power up this device. Okay. So I'm gonna temporarily disconnect this fuse so I don't have any shortage or anything. And I'm gonna connect to the same ground wire that I'm using for this LazyBone Bluetooth device. Okay, this is how I previously connected here, and I'm gonna connect back to the ground. Very simple. Get really solid ground here, so I liked it. And that's how we're gonna connect back. Okay. So we're using this wire. Again, you can find different way to connect to get your power and connect somewhere else. So it not necessarily has to be right here, but I figured it's just the easiest way for me to do it, because it's right here, right next to the door, and I don't have to search anywhere else. Okay, so now we connecting back this device, putting back the fuse, so we have power. So this is ready to go, and now we're only gonna use this gray wire. So this blue with the black stripe, we're gonna forget about it. We're gonna use just this. And now I'm gonna use this quick connect. Okay, see how it's designed. So one wire goes here, and the other just gonna go through the splice. And we're gonna splice, quick splice connector. So we're doing this right here, okay? Not very easy connection, and then this goes into the hole right there. So make sure it goes all the way in, and then the next thing to do is, I don't have enough space here to twist around, but I guess we're just gonna do it like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna press and connect this wire together. So again, make sure this wire all the way in. We're gonna clamp it in. All right, all the way. So we have good connection. So now we connect it, and now we can test, make sure all the wires get good connection. And let's open up the app and see what it does. Okay, so we already again disconnected because we lose the power. By the way, this is the beauty of it. If you lose the power, you got it back, or you disconnect the Bluetooth, you come to the car, you click the power button, it search for devices, you find your device name. See how I named Andre. I'm gonna click on it, and by the way, you can rename it. You can go to your options here and go to your mode. Nope. Here, the name, and you can put your new name here. So what's cool about it, you can change your name as you wish. and it's going to remember even if you disconnect the power from device or you do, it's going to, that name going to be in your Bluetooth devices, which is really cool. So once you create your name, let's say I'm going to put Andre iPhone, so I don't want to do car, I'm just going to do iPhone, and I'm going to click OK. iPhone not allowed. Okay, so this is just way too long name, so let me do another name. Let's do Andre, and I'm gonna put just Andre C, wherever it is. Okay, so now see, it changes device. Now disconnect it. I'm gonna go back, find Andre C and connect to that device, and then now I'm gonna set it up the mode, make sure it's set up as the switch. Okay, just make sure it's have a pulse. Okay, so now watch this, guys. I'm gonna lock the door manually, let's say, and I walk from the car and I lock it, and now I'm gonna press, and here you go, it opened the door. Now again, I'm gonna lock now with my push button, car push button, and then I come to the door and unlock it. So here you go, you lock the car, you can unlock it now, and you can hear the click every time you click here. You hear the click on the relay that sends the, connects the same two wires that the switch. Basically it works like a simple switch, nothing really complicated, really straightforward. So once you get this all connections done, again you can just get the wiring right behind this panel, get everything inside nice and neat, and probably drop it and make connection available. Maybe if you want to disconnect the power real quick, you can make some connection available ready to disconnect, or like I said, some switch installed and you can disconnect through the switch. So once this all connected, you can put it all back, make sure your door is connected, your panel goes back. I already removed it, but once you get everything back and you're ready to go, you just lock the door. So again, I'm gonna show you here. I have a key from my car, I left it in. Now I'm gonna lock the door accidentally, manually, boom, close it, and like, wow, I can't get in. So I'm just gonna open my app, and here you go, connect to the device. It's connected, and just open the car.